Good morning. Agneta, please have a seat. We are set for a delightful start to this morning's gathering. The choir are here and they're practicing for Alumni Day. On Saturday we're going to have a number of former students and some former staff members as well who will come, and we're going to have a lovely service in here and play a bit of field hockey as well out there and have a lunch and things. They love coming back to the school, and one of the highlights I know for them is listening to the students sing and finding out from our current grade 12s sort of what their ambitions are and where they're headed next year. And so it's a really special. I was delighted to listen to it yesterday, and please give a warm welcome to the choir who will be singing Blessings by Laura Story.
We pray
That was a real treat to hear you sing again this morning, so thank you very much. And I know as well there's I think 2 or 3 voices that'll be joining you too for the performance, and those of us who've been on teams, it's always, you know, when there's a few people not there, you've really got to step up and work that little bit harder. So which I know you really did this morning. So thank you so much for that. That was a wonderful start. So shifting gears a little bit now, but more student performance and presentation. We've got Kaylee and Sedona and Hugh, and I think Tanaye. Are you coming to present, or no? Jason. Okay, Tanaye is going to be working the magic on the computer and with the slides. But a huge thank you in advance to them for coming in and sharing information about the Moosehide campaign, which is something that might sound familiar to some of you, and a few of you may know about it. But if not, this is about raising awareness. So please give them your full attention and give them a warm welcome.
Good morning, everyone. We are from the Indigenous Studies 12 class, and we are here to talk about the Moosehide campaign, which has been going on for the last year as well. And we'll be presenting to you the various ways that we have here at QMS to get involved, and hopefully we'll see you taking part in these initiatives.
One simple idea from a father and daughter has grown into a movement that is capturing the hearts of Canadians.
Violence against women and children in Canada is still far too common, and it's more likely to affect those of us who are Indigenous, especially our Indigenous women and children. On our streets, in our universities, in our workplaces, we see it everywhere. I did not want to see my daughters grow up in a world where this is still happening.
While hunting together on our traditional territory near the Highway of Tears, where many Indigenous women have been murdered or gone missing, we felt moved to take action together. And it all starts with this pin. It's a symbol of commitment, of solidarity. We've now distributed millions of them to communities across the nation. Each one is starting conversations that bring us closer to putting an end to this violence.
We're in schools, we're in universities, helping to make those spaces safer and embedding anti-violence into the curriculum.
The gatherings are an opportunity to come together in ceremony, inviting all Canadians to take a stand to end domestic and gender-based violence. They're an opportunity to inspire each other and to give each other the energy to keep going.
We are a grassroots movement of men and boys with one shared vision: a society where women and children are free of all forms of violence, where Indigenous women and children are not found murdered or go missing along the Highway of Tears or along any road in this country.
We want to get to a place where we've given out 10 million Moosehide pins, and on one day have 1 million Canadians fasting together in ceremony to end violence against women and children. Will you join us?
Good morning. I'm now going to share a story of one of the women who has faced this extreme violence that is put against Indigenous women and children. This is the story of Susan. Susan was a mother, a sister, an aunt, a daughter. Like many of us here at QMS, she loved horse riding. Sadly, she went missing a couple years ago. She was found a couple months later in her car in the forest. What happened to Susan? What the police would say happened to Susan is that she committed suicide and had mental illness troubles. What actually happened is that she had an abusive partner who was never looked into after her death, and it was never fully determined what happened to her. Susan is just one of the many women who are faced with this extreme violence. The Moosehide campaign is our way of bringing justice to these women who face this extreme fear of something like this happening to them or their daughters.
So here's a bit of statistics to follow up with that story. So the first one is that 1 in 2 Canadian women have experienced an incident of physical or sexual violence. It's 3 times higher for an Indigenous woman to have spousal violence towards them than it is for a non-Indigenous woman. And it's 6 times more likely that for Indigenous women to be killed than it is for non-Indigenous women to be killed.
And yeah, so next week, the week before Outdoor Ed, we'll have a variety of ways for us to get involved in the Moosehead campaign, and the official Moosehead campaign date will be on the 16th of May, which is during Outdoor Ed. So if you're here during Outdoor Ed, we encourage you to get involved as well.
So the first date is The first date is May 7th. We'll be having a bake sale to raise funds for the Moosehead campaign and spread awareness for the missing and murdered Indigenous women of Canada. The bake sale will probably continue to the next day if we do not sell it the first day, so bring money both days so that you can come out and support to help awareness.
Another activity we'll be doing is a fasting initiative to support and stand with Indigenous communities. This fasting isn't about just skipping meals, but it's about standing with and supporting Indigenous communities, and feeling with the hardships Indigenous families have endured. It's our way of saying we see you, we hear you, and we are committed to making things better. So consider joining the fasting group, not just as a symbol, but as a genuine step towards making a difference.
Our last activity is on May 10th. We will be walking around Duncan and spreading awareness for the missing and murdered Indigenous women. Wearing an orange shirt, if you're going to go, is highly encouraged to show what we are standing for and, again, bring attention and bring light to the topic.
We will be sending out a form for the sign up. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that presentation and hopefully raising some awareness in the chapel this morning for that campaign. And of course, the details of those initiatives and things you can get involved with will be confirmed on the announcement, so please keep an eye out for those. Sometimes when I see a presentation like that, I forget how lucky I really am. And I think we probably take a lot of things for granted in our lives too. So this is a chance for us to grow our empathy, build our awareness for people who really are enduring a lot of hardships in the communities around us on the doorstep. Okay, these aren't just stories that we find on the internet and things that happen online. So whatever you can do to build your awareness and open your mind over the next week or two would be greatly appreciated, and I think would be a good thing for you to do as well. So thank you to Mr. Saylor and Ms. Jones as well for their Indigenous Studies class in ensuring that the students and you collectively are bringing this forward and that it's something we can engage in together. So we're going to switch gears to something a little different. We have seen over the last week, and even previous weeks, there's so many of you who are, whether you're entering competitions or you're attending events, be it equestrian, be it to do with drama, maybe it's a science fair, you're entering into these events and just doing extraordinarily well and performing really well. So it's impressive to see, and it's wonderful for those involved, I'm sure. Mr. Wang's going to come up here and he is going to give you some information about Waterloo math competition. Mr. Wang.
Hi, good morning. So in February this year, a number of you in this room, probably a third, I would say, attempted the University of Waterloo math competitions. Now, those competitions are not easy. I don't know how they do it every year, but University of Waterloo comes up with these kind of creative questions just to challenge your abilities. while I was invigilating, I was like flipping through the contest, and when I saw the last 3 questions, I'm just like, oof, like that's hard, okay? But I applaud you for that, right? So I applaud your bravery because you attempted something that you knew was hard, yet you did it anyway. So now the scores are tabulated, results are out. Every year, we celebrate those who achieve within the top 25% of all participants. So if you made that achievement, you get what we call a certificate distinction. And the top score in our school gets this kind of beautifully made medal from the University of Waterloo. So we'll start with a grade 9 presentation. May I ask Hidi and Ray to come on up? Photo, absolutely. Okay, and then just wait. So Hidi, you just edged out Ray a little bit, but then you scored the medal for this year. Congratulations. As for grade 10s, may I ask Wendy, Leo, Hikaru, and Sarah to please come on up. Wendy, congratulations. Well done. Leo, well done. Hikaru, well done. And then Sarah, well done. Please come on up for the vote. And the medal winner this year is Wendy. Congratulations.
Congratulations, all of you there. That's a terrific achievement. And it's today's, or this morning's gathering is in so many ways it's such a reflection of life, right? Because life isn't usually, well, we're fortunate enough, it's not just one thing. It's not just tragedy, it's not just misery, it's not just joy. It's a mixture all the time. And this morning was a bit of that. We had joy, we had celebration of achievement, and we have a very moving and tragic situation explained in detail to us, right? So sometimes that sort of thing can become a little overwhelming, and you start to think of, okay, what can I do as an individual? And at the end of the day, you can just join with others and try and get as many people as this group is actually promoting, get as many people signing up just to indicate and do whatever you can to say, this is wrong, it's just wrong. You can't have that continuing in our society. We're supposed to have evolved, not regressed. But anyway, you can tell I'm a little bit antsy about that. When I see that, I just makes me mad. But mad is no good. We have to do something about it. Anyway, let's get on a more uplifting note. Let's get behind this, and then let's continue all these fantastic efforts that are going on all over the place to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can be. Again, thank you.